Hey guys, just doing a quick update for you today. I'm just going to talk about the long range forecast, then I'm going to move on to the short term forecast and have a look at the Christmas forecast at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And at the end of the video I'll be also giving you a Casim Amazing World tutorial. Let's just get this out of the way for you then. This is the United Kingdom here, as you can see. Just want to focus on something called stratospheric warming. Now, stratospheric warming did happen at the beginning of December. We saw the stratosphere was very low indeed. The stratosphere here was around about coming down to -80. So here's -80 it was at, but it took a sharp increase and went up then to near normal or slightly above normal levels here to around -60 or so. So yeah, it has been becoming much warmer. And then once it did warm, we did see a cold spell here. So once it did become milder at the stratosphere, we saw a cold spell coming in here. Now the stratosphere will decline again, and probably will pick up by the end of the month. And then in December we are going to see another period of stratospheric warming, and this could give a colder spell here. So there is stacking up one factor there, which could introduce colder weather for the beginning of January. So another thing then is solar activity. That has been we are at currently coming up to solar cycle at maximum solar cycle 24. So we are coming up to a high. This is solar cycle 24, and we are coming into a high solar cycle here. But it's generally the solar pattern here and the sunspot activity is generally rather lowish. Actually, you may think it's quite high because the start of a thingy, but it's not high at all. It's generally rather low. There are only a few spots at the moment, not all those spots there. So yeah, it is generally quite low at the moment, which does advise it really for negative sort of NAO. So yeah, it's something else we do look at for negative NAO as well. So yeah, the consensus is for cooler weather this winter. As I say, lots of factors are backing up the consensus is for cooler weather. We've got that tripod out in the Atlantic, which is basically just bands of warmer, cooler, warmer air in the Atlantic. This does support cold weather. This does support colder weather, and also a negative NAO. Negative NAO just means the winds circulating around the Arctic, around the Arctic are generally negative, which generally is very weak. That's Arctic oscillation there, and generally when that happens in the winter, it allows cold air to drain off from the poles and give us cold wintry spells. And definitely for the mid-latitudes, like running through into Britain and into Europe, the jet stream doesn't become much of a factor, and you can get wobbles in the jet stream as well, and then that allows colder air to dig in from the north. In USA, that's rather different. In the USA, North America, you can generally I should class it as North American landmass. In the North American landmass, you can get cold weather even in a positive NAO. So it is quite complicated for you there. Just something there to keep you up to date. Another so yeah, the consensus for the winter is a negative NAO. So as that means cool weather from the drain. But this doesn't mean that the NAO will be negative throughout the whole winter. The average on NAO will be below winter. The average there will be negative. So that's negative, but we could see periods of positive, right? We could see positive in the United Kingdom, but these will be less frequent as negative periods, right? So therefore, the average NAO, right? The average NAO, which of course drives the winter weather, is going to be slightly negative for this winter. So there you go as well. That's something else that you need to look at as well. Just going back to short term then. Let's just go back to the short term thing there. So this is the UK here. Tonight though we're going to see periods of rain clearing off the east coast. Quite windy in Scotland. I definitely think for Orkney, Shetland and these sort of areas could see a good blast of easterly gales overnight, possibly gusting to 70 mph in the strongest gusts. On the coast and hills, do watch out to experience some buffeting, and also on the high ground we could get quite blizzardous for a time on the Cairngorm range. Could get very blizzardous as well with some snow on the high ground, but generally once you get down below 700 metres or so, this is rain. So the snow line in Scotland is around 700 metres, so that's generally quite a high line for winter. And for the rest of the UK then, for the rest of the United Kingdom, generally a mild night. Temperatures actually not going lower than 6 to 7 degrees Celsius for many places overnight. All areas just about escaping of frost. Winds are lighter in the west, but we are now getting another batch of breezes in from the west. These will continue through tomorrow, and generally tomorrow I think it's going to be a very mild day with showers always continuing on and off on these western coasts and hills. Some of these could be quite heavy in places. I think showers heavy here in this sort of zone, but I think showers could crop up just almost anywhere in this region here. But I think the eastern coast probably less prone to showers in this Atlantic sort of feed. Sorry about that. So then tomorrow top temperatures probably hovering around 10 degrees Celsius in the south, more like 7 or 8 degrees Celsius in the north, but generally here the cold dense air is sort of hanging on slightly under that in the glens. So yeah, next week is going to be quite Atlantic with southwesterly feed. NAO, remember that NAO, I just told you about that. It's going to be coming up a little bit, so it's going to be coming into positive territory. So this means generally that the weather is Atlantic influenced in the United Kingdom, when we don't really allow that to come off the pole, cold air to come up down the poles and influence our weather. So yeah, the Christmas forecast, just want to take you through to the Christmas forecast. Let's get back on that other one there. Let's just get back to the Christmas forecast. The GFS and the ECMWF are being quite interesting the next few days. The ECMWF at the moment, the latest ECMWF in 12Z, is seeing a low pressure around this sort of region here. This is the Antarctic. This is a larger view related to see it more extensively. Is seeing a narrow low pressure in here, and what this will do, and it's seeing a ridge here at 500 millibars. It's seeing a ridge here and bringing a trough here, so bringing the 500 millibar flow, something like so. So this is probably, if this continues on, this is for the 24th of December. If this continues for the 25th, right, then this low pressure will probably deepen, and actually on the 23rd there's pretty much the same thing, so it's generally slack, but this ridge here is pushing northwards, pumped up by a trough through the eastern seaboard. So 25th December, if the ECMWF was right, it will bring this low pressure out towards the south. I think the 12Z run, right, so 12Z run of the ECMWF operational is more sensible than its 0Z run, right? So I think that's looking much more sensible. 0Z run was having a high pressure out here, bringing cold winds through the east of the country. So yeah, I do think that the GFS operational is seeing things being quite mild. For the run up to Christmas, seeing things being very mild actually, perhaps temperatures around 12 degrees Celsius for many areas, possibly even 15 degrees Celsius. The GFS operational is seeing low pressure here and high pressure out here. So it is seeing those temperatures are going to be picking up from around 22nd, I think, or 21st. Could be very mild across many parts of the country. Temperatures probably like spring-like even. United Kingdom, probably this is what we saw in summer in the cooler periods when we had lots of rain lingering all day. So yeah, a mild run up to Christmas then, but there is some uncertainty to Christmas. As I say, the GFS, which is the global forecasting system, is the main model really that we use, and it is seeing things being quite Atlantically fed, westerly winds across many areas. This looks to be most sensible. I'll put this around 60% chance of happening now. Put this around 60% chance of happening. This is sensible, right? This is sensible. So that's why I'm putting it at 60% chance. Now the ECMWF, the European model, right? I think I'm going to put this at 40% chance, right? Now the reason why I'm not putting the ECMWF down to 31, right? Because the 12Z run is more sensible than the 00Z run. Right, and 2, because ECMWF track record is slightly higher than GFS track record, around decimal 0.48, we just measure it in decimals here. So 48 out of 100 runs of the ECMWF will be good. So 48 out of 100, that's pretty good that actually. And the GFS is falling slightly behind that, but still GFS is quite good. That's why you have to just consider the ECMWF, it is making things cooler for Christmas. So yeah, we do have to say this around 60-40% chance. It's going to be a close one, Christmas, it's going to be a close one. But I think the main thing is going to be, I think temperatures are going to be around average, right, for Christmas. So average temperatures for Christmas generally means around 6 degrees Celsius, 5-6 in the north, and generally around 7 degrees Celsius in the south. Showers likely at times. Sorry, let's just correct that there. Showers likely at times. Showers are likely at times for much of the country. These could be wintry on high ground. Alright, wintry on high ground. I don't think it'll be a white Christmas, but definitely think now it's not going to be as mild as it was looking. But definitely mild for the run up to Christmas. Very mild indeed for the run up to Christmas. We can't take the ECMWF too seriously because it was predicting something very serious coming into the United Kingdom, beast from the east. It was predicting that coming very serious. Daily Mail use that term beast from the east a lot. They use it in January as well. The ECMWF was predicting beast from the east, as was the GFS. So you can't take it too seriously, but I think they are being a bit more sensible, these models now. as we come to the run up to Christmas, and I do think that that could likely to happen. Really, I was predicting snow actually for the UK around the 13th to 15th. I did think that this high pressure could hang on in the east, and I did think that the low pressure hit would be out to the west. So generally, just have to say this is a balls up forecast. Really, we haven't seen that. We've always seen is a warm front coming into much of the country. That's a warm front there coming into much of the country, bringing mild conditions, snow restricted to the high ground in Scotland. So it was really a very poor forecast for the 13th to 15th period. But generally, I'm not a chance to issue my forecast online. Which doesn't give me an excuse at all, really, for saying that the forecast was correct, but it definitely was not very good forecast. Needless to say, though, I hope my Christmas forecast is better, and the confidence in the Christmas forecast is a bit higher, really, than this forecast. It was very hard to forecast, actually, at the start of December. Central England temperature has been hovering around -3 or more degrees Celsius, -3.5 degrees Celsius there, so definitely been a cold start to winter. But I think by the end of the winter, I think we'll see that central English temperature rising to around 4 degrees Celsius for the end of December. So around 4 degrees Celsius central English temperature by the end of the winter. Probably more likely to be 3.5 degrees Celsius for the end of December. But I do think the start of January is going to be cold. I think everyone's start of January is going to be cold, definitely. Stratospheric warming, lots of things going on there. Which do you think? I think that the start of January is going to be cold. Confidence at this stage. We have to look at the confidence and say, what do you think the confidence is going to happen? Well, I do think the confidence is probably going to be around 55% chance of it being very cold to start off January with snow in places. So yeah, you have to look at these forecasts and really take what you can from the models. Well, some models are saying this, some models are saying that. Well, the most sensible model is the most best performing model is this. Now look at this and say what you think is going to happen, which I think is going to be temperatures around average for Christmas period, probably nudging onto the cool side, but definitely that mild period running up to Christmas, very mild in fact compared to what we've had. And then I think for the start of January we're going to go cool to cold with snow in places. And that's the forecast for me then. Thanks very much. Just to give you a quick tutorial, now you can go always onto Casting Amazing Well Weather channel on YouTube. Just go to YouTube, pop onto YouTube, and you can do a search for Casting Amazing Well Weather channel. You can just find the link just below there, just under the screen. So just below what you're watching now, you can find the link there for the main channel page. You can go there, click on your latest video and watch that, or you can go onto the comments page. Feel more than welcome to leave your comments there, and feel free to do anything you desire on the site. I'm an amateur forecaster, delivering daily forecast on the channel for you to watch. I'm based in Cheshire. UK, concentrating on long range forecast can be found. My aim is to provide an efficient, well explained daily forecast highlighting the main warning issues. Also for the educational purposes. Any questions, feel free to ask. Or you can inbox, but I'd recommend it to comment on my page. Now you can get me on Twitter as well. I'm only very new to Twitter. I only got it yesterday, so not got many followers at present. But get me on Facebook as well. It's good to get me on Facebook too. So yeah, interesting developments taking place here. You can get onto the site here, and that's it for now. Thank you.